All right, people, check this out.
Out front tonight, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Jose Antonio Vargas. He outed himself as an undocumented immigrant in the New York Times Magazine in 2011. He's also the director of the film Documented, which premiered on CNN last month. And tonight, he's in McAllen, Texas, along with others who are undocumented immigrants. And good to talk to you tonight, Jose Antonio. Let me ask you first, you've been meeting with some of these children who have been fleeing these horrific situations. What have you seen in terms of how they're being treated, what their situation is like?
Well, first of all, you know, we came out here. I mean, I came out here last Thursday to stand in solidarity with all these children, right? I mean, this is a humanitarian crisis that everybody, including Governor Perry, has been politicizing. And, you know, there isn't enough about humanity that we should be talking about. And having met some of these kids, I dare any congressional member, the president, to look at the eyes of these children and tell them that they're going to be sent back. I dare them to look at the eyes of these children. Because once you see them, how can you send them back?
And maybe that's part of the reason the president doesn't want to go to the border. I mean, but do you think that then the answer is to keep all of these kids who don't have anyone to take care of them? I mean, is that the solution?
We are not a country. America is not a country that turns its back on children. That's not who we are as a country. You know, and I don't want to bring race into this, but if these were white kids, would we be doing these to the kids? Oh. Right? And here's my question to the Congress. Is this Congress really prepared to be the only piece of legislation that they pass is a legislation that deports kids? Is that going to be the only legislation they're going to pass?
So
you know,
what
when I got here, Aaron,
what should they do then?
Well, I think there's got to be a process in which we listen to the stories of these kids. And, you know, to me, the story that no one is talking about is the generosity of people here in McAllen. We're standing near the shelter here. The generosity of people all across Texas and all across the country that want to take these children in. And I have to tell you, Aaron, so when I got here last Thursday, I've never been to the Texas border. So I didn't really realize what it's like to be undocumented here in Texas at the border. And I met a woman named Tanya Chavez. I remember when I got here, she said to me, "How are you going to get out?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because Tanya, you've been trapped here since you were how old?
I was 14 years old when I came into the United States, and ever since I've been confined to the boundaries of what the border looks like, of what the Rio Grande Valley is like. On the south side, we have the international bridges, and at the north side, we have the checkpoints, and there's several checkpoints, and you can't be on.
You can't get out. So all these people that are standing next to us, they've been confined in that checkpoint, right? And people don't know that. I don't think Governor Perry even realizes that. Am I right, Tanya?
Yes, and one thing that I want to ask President Obama is that there's so many undocumented individuals in the Rio Grande Valley that I think we deserve the attention that he hasn't given us for many, many years. When they write their pieces of legislation, they never take into account the undocumented immigrants that are confined into the boundaries of the checkpoint. We are segregated for the entire nation.
Yes.
We can go visit our family up north beyond the checkpoint, even though we all live in America. We all live in the United States. I am American, but I am an undocumented American.
And you know, Tanya makes a very powerful case, but let me ask you again, because this is the question. If the United States says, we're going to let all these people go, visit their families, many of them may not then return back to the border, or take all of these kids, aren't you sending a message everybody can come? And that may not be realistic for this country to just let everybody come in.
The message, Aaron, we are a country of laws, but also we're a country of morality, right? I think we have to figure out a way that we can humanely have a process to let people see their family. You know, it's really interesting being around here, right? Looking at all the border security. This is a militarized zone. And I'm looking around this morning when I went to the Starbucks to get coffee. There's like Border Patrol agents everywhere. And I'm thinking, they're here because of me. Are we a threat? Are we a national security threat? Are all these billions of dollars being spent on border security because of us?
And what about your situation in particular? I mean, are you daring, in a sense, Jose Antonio, people to arrest you and deport you? I mean, I would say they're not going to. You're a Pulitzer Prize winner. You've accomplished a lot of things. They're not going to waste their time on you. But is that your goal down there?
Well, but Aaron, why the double standard? When I outed myself 3 years ago, my goal is to say I'm one of the 11 million people. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm not asking for there to be any double standard. The government is doing that. My fate is tied to everybody else in this exact same situation. And we've done way too much politicizing and not enough finding solution on this issue. And the question here is, how do you define American? That's the question.
That's a big question. All right, well, thank you very much, Jose Antonio. We appreciate you being with us tonight. As we said, Jose Antonio Vargas on the McAllen, Texas border.
Wow.